Hello everyone, this is John Galt speaking, here with a live stream again for you guys today, where we are going to, I don't know, maybe you guys are going to too, I don't know, try to salvage this basic locomotion system that I put together using the Lyra animations and trying to mimic some of the techniques that they used in Lyra. So in yesterday's stream, obviously we ran into a shitload of problems. And so someone made a contribution to me today via my PayPal. And apparently they love to see me being tortured with this engine, like getting needles poked under your fingernails or whatever. And so they made a contribution and asked me if I would continue this series and try to solve all these problems that we ran into, or I ran into trying to, do this. And at first I wasn't going to do it, right? They sent me the email and asked me if I would be interested in doing it. And I thought about it for quite a long time. And I was like, honestly, I really just don't know. I really don't want to. I really don't think I can solve it, which that's not true. You can solve any problem given enough time, effort, and energy. You can solve anything. And so I thought about it pretty much all day today. And then I finally emailed him back and told him that I would do it if he would make a contribution. And so he did. And now I'm obligated to solve this bitch. Otherwise I have to give him his money back, right? His contribution back. And I don't give refunds, right? So if we have to sit here till Thanksgiving on live stream from now until Thanksgiving, we're going to figure out a way. I'm going to figure out a way to solve this. Right? Because, I put a lot of work in this already and it was coming together nicely until I put a weapon on the character and then it all just kind of went to shit in a handbag. And so, that's what we're going to do. Okay. And also, guys, just before we get started here, I need to go ahead and say this. The way that videos generally get made on this YouTube page is by people making contributions to me via my PayPal links, which can be found in the descriptions of any of the videos that I make. And also there's a button on my banner on my YouTube page that you can click. I don't ask for much, right? A couple bucks, $5, $10, buy me a cup of coffee, whatever. But if you would like to request something specific, before you make your contribution, I would ask that you email me to kind of pre-negotiate whether it's something that I can either do, right? Because I can't do everything. Or if it's something that I have already covered, right? I might send you a link to a previous video that I've made. Or I just may not want to do it, right? So always, before you make a contribution, if you're wanting something specific, be sure and email me first and let me tell you yay or nay. And then if I decide to do it, then you can make your contribution. And then in the next day or so, I will make a video covering whatever it was that you requested. Okay. Okay. So the good news is we're going to solve this one way or the other. We're going to solve this. The bad news is, everything that I done yesterday, I deleted that entire project. So it's gone. So everything that we done yesterday in yesterday's stream will probably have to likely be redid. And that's where we're at. So I gave you guys this project, by the way. There's links in one of the other videos where you guys can go download this if you want it. And I'm going to extract that version, which is exactly the one that's uploaded. And we're going to get this party started. So let me get me a drink here. Go ahead and place your bets, guys. Are we going to be able to solve these issues or are we not? What's the over under? I don't know. Wouldn't that be a pisser if we can't solve it? Okay. Yeah, we'll solve it. We'll figure something out. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go into my famous TPS starter project that's a piece of crap the moment you put a weapon on it. And we're going to go in here first. Well, first let's do a little bit of a recap of what we did, or what I did, and why I did it this way. And then we'll talk about the issues that I encountered, and then we'll start trying to solve it, okay? Because, these videos I make are like they are like a, chasing around a bunch of rabid weasels, right? Attention span of a ferret on crack. So I'm all over the place. So basically what I did was I took a default third person template, the one that Epic comes with in the engine, and I migrated all the animations out of the Lyra project into this project, with the intention being that I wanted to create my own personal default third person template that had a wider range of movement for the character, so that depending on what kind of video I want to make, if I want to make something that's specific for a rifle, for example, I've already got a set of animations in here already hooked up and ready to go. Okay. Or if I want to do something unarmed, I already have it and ready to go. So that was the intention. And so at the same time, I had been studying the Lyra project a little bit, trying to go in there and figure out how the fucking hell they got all that shit to work the way that they did. And I will just tell you guys that I have watched 3 or 4 different videos on it. I have poked around in there and experimented all on my own, trying to figure it out. And I will tell you guys that I still have no fucking idea why they made a project as complex and complicated as they did with that project. I have no fucking idea why they did that, but they did it. And so also, I do not use C++. I strictly use blueprints. So some of the mysterious parts of that may be because it's buried in C++ somewhere, and I have no idea how to do any of that. Okay. So I thought I would take bits and pieces of the way they did it, mixed with a little bit of my own personal ingenuity, and try to develop a hybrid system of the old way of doing it and the new way of doing it, and simplify it and make it less complicated. Okay. And I thought I had that, but in yesterday's video, the moment that I put a weapon on the character, everything quickly went to shit. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and spawn in here. And essentially we have all the directions of movement, right? So we got forward, backward, forward, left, back, right, all that stuff. And we also have a jump, and we also have the ability to switch between a male and a female. And the female actually uses a little bit different animation than the male does. Same movements and all that stuff. And I also hot wired in the ability for you to press the Q button, and you can switch between unarmed and rifle and pistol and back again. And the character's default movement is walking, and you can press and hold your left shift button, and she will switch, or the character will switch into the running animations, also with full directional movement. Okay. Now, the issues that we encountered, I cannot show you guys really those issues. Well, I don't know, maybe I can. So one of the issues is that I'm using the orientation warping, I think that's what it's called, plugin, in order to be able to do the forward right, forward left, the back right, and the back left. And the reason for that, the sole reason for that, is because the Lyra animations do not include forward left, forward right, back left, and back right. So in order to make it do that, it's doing this orientation warping thingamajig in order to make the character blend between two different animations. And so that's how that happens. Well, when you are in one of those animations, you can see that the weapon is not pointed directly at the center of the screen anymore at that point. And that's a problem because your crosshair is in the dead center of the screen. So when you start putting in your weapon firing logic, you need it to be able to shoot exactly where that crosshair is. And you need the weapon to face where the crosshair is. And obviously, if your crosshair is dead center of the screen and you're doing one of these strafes here, the weapon is pointed at a 45-degree angle, which means it would be coming out of the barrel and shooting a hard left to go to where the crosshair is, which is ass, by the way. So we dicked around with this, I don't know, 5 hours. I don't know how long the damn live stream was, or whatever. And I never could get any of it to work. Okay. And every time I thought I was getting close, I'd do something different and it would still do it. Like, here's an example. When you are in one of these strafes, you can see that the character, he does not stay, he switches. See how he goes from walking backward left or forward right to back left? See how that, I'm not doing that, right? It's automatically doing that. Okay. And then when you're actually doing that, if you rotate your mouse right and left just a hair, he sits here and he does this kind of bullshit. See this? And so that's kind of clunky too. And then when I got the aiming in the forward direction by trying to create an offset, I got it to be a little bit closer to correct, but the moment that you switch going backwards, it fucks everything up, right? So it turns out to me that it's just far more trouble than it's worth to try to even fuck with that. Okay. And so ideally what you would do is I would rather just do it the old way. Use these animations and do it the old way by just creating a regular blend space and then creating the animations that are missing, which would be forward right, forward left, back right, and back left. Make those animations. And I've done that 1,000,000 times in this engine, right? And I kind of showed in yesterday's video how I do it normally. And I've done it that way ever since Unreal Engine 4 existed. I have done it that way. But for whatever reason, these animations don't want to play nice, right? They've got root motion. And one of the rotations that I need to make in order to make the 45-degree animations is I have to take the root bone and rotate it 45 degrees and add a keyframe to it. Well, if the root motion is turned off, it ignores any data coming from the root bone. Okay. Which means that key that I add to rotate it 45 degrees, it doesn't rotate 45 degrees because it doesn't read the animation because the animation's on the root bone and the root motion is disabled. So I tried to manually remove the root motion out of those animations. And of course that didn't work. And so that's pretty much where we are. Okay, now I do want to kind of go into the animation blueprint for just a minute here. Okay, so how we're doing this is I created some logic in one of these videos here, which is specifically used for detecting the direction that the character is moving and creating a orientation angle based on what direction the character is moving. Okay, so that's what this bit of logic right here does. And the whole reason, just to be clear here, the whole reason that I even did this is because I was trying to mimic the way that they did it in Lyra. And the reason is because if we go into the actual locomotion here and we go into the walk run state, we had to, instead of using a blend space, what we do is we've got a animation sequence for each direction, right? So you got one for forward, you got one for left. Wait a minute. Where the hell is this? Yeah, you got one for each direction. So you got forward, you got right, you got left. And anyway, this right here got extremely large too, by the way. Okay, so now let me bring Chad over here and say hello to everyone. Thank you guys for showing up, hanging out. We're going to solve this. One way or the goddamn other, we're going to solve this. Nothing ever beats me in this engine, and it ain't about to start now, okay? So hello, Oni, what's happening? Devin, I think the IK retargeting is the main issue. Yeah, I think that's got a lot to do with a lot of the issues, too. I really do. Devin says, I watched a video recently on it, and while a little weird, once you get the hang of it, the new system actually works pretty well. Well, I mean, obviously it does, because I've dicked around in the Libra project, and it looks okay. But my question always becomes, is it worth that much fucking trouble and that much convolution and that much expansion in order to get it to do that? Right? And my answer to that is obviously fuck to the no. Okay. I think it's overcomplicated. I think it's too convoluted. I think that it's a starter project that people are supposed to use as an example of how to do things. And I think that only 8 people on planet Earth have any fucking idea how that goddamn system works. And it's the people that build it at Epic. Because every other video that I've ever seen, nobody can figure out shit about what that does. They open up the blueprints and they say, oh, well, this is where they're doing that, and this is where they're doing that. But they don't talk about, okay, so fine, that's what it does. How is it all tied together? Right? Well, they don't talk about that. And they also don't say, well, here's how you can take what they did out of the Lyra. Like, say, for example, here's what I'm trying to say. I don't want any of their shit in Lyra except the locomotion system. That's it. That is it. I don't want their weapon firing logic. I don't want their goddamn gameplay ability bullshit that they hooked up. I don't want none of that. I just want the locomotion. That's it. But you can't take it out. It's tied in and integrated into the project. So you can't get it out. But what you can get out is the goddamn animations. And that's the reason why I started this project, to try to create my own and forego all the other crap in their project that I don't want. But anyway, so let's continue reading here. So I think a blend space would be better. I agree. And just do away with the orientation warping altogether. I agree. When I was investigating the Lyra blueprints, I found that they did it this way because the items, like weapons, have their own anim sets, and it sends it to the anim blueprints, which has to set logic. But I agree, whoever made Lyra is insane. You're absolutely correct. Okay, so let me get me a drink here. I've already talked so much I can't even breathe. Okay, so the problem is now that I want to create a blend space and just forego all this bullshit right here. That's exactly what I want to do. So that's what we're going to start out with. We're going to first create a blend space, and then we're going to see what we're missing and how we can fix it. Okay. So we're going to go into the mannequins here, and we're going to go into the locomotion, and we're going to do the rifle because really that's the main one that's jacked up. Okay. So we're going to start with the rifle, and we're going to right click a blank spot in here, and we're going to go to animation, and we're going to create a blend space, not 1D, a 2D, right? So that's this one, and that will be for the mannequin, and we will call this BS underscore MM underscore rifle underscore walk, right? So this is the walk. It will need two blend spaces, one for walk and one for jogging, but we're just going to start out with walk. Okay. So we open this up, go to the asset details. I'm sure you guys have did this a million times, right? So this is going to be direction, and that will be negative 180 to positive 180. And we're going to go ahead and put in our 8 grid divisions because we're going to fill in them gaps. We're going to figure out a way to make those animations, and we're going to say snap to grid. And then we're going to do the vertical axis, which will be speed, and that will be 0 to 300. And that will also be snap to grid, and we shall save it. And now we're going to go ahead and put in the animations that we do have, which will be rifle walk. Okay. And so we need walk forward, right? And that goes here and here. And then we need walk left, which will go here and here. And then we need walk right, which will go here and here. And then we need backward, which will go in the corners here and here, here, and here. So obviously we're missing forward left, forward right, back left, and back right. That's fine for now. Okay, let's just get this hooked up and see what we can do from here. Okay, so now we go into the animation blueprint here, and we get to tear a bunch of shit up. Okay, so in the event graph, we're going to unplug this and this from yesterday, right? We still need the direction, so we'll leave that hooked up, but unhook. Essentially what that does is do away with this and all this crap over here. Okay. And now we go back into our walk run state here, and we're dealing with the dude. We'll start with the dude. So is this the dude? Nope, that's the female. So we need to go down here to the bottom, and essentially we're just going to bring in that blend space, BS, and that will be this. And let's zoom in here. And we're just going to bypass every single bit of this. So we'll put this here. And we need direction. And we need speed. Okay, okay. Compile that, save it. And now we need to set this character to use that animation by default. So let's open the character blueprint. In the animation sets variable, we're going to set that to rifle, and we shall compile that and save it. And now he is in the rifle. His turn in place still works. And we have forward, backward, left, and right. But what we don't have is forward left. He has legs cross over. And we don't have back right. Okay. And if we go forward right, it kind of looks okay, right? Even with that animation missing, it still kind of looks okay-ish. And then if we go backward, left, it still looks okay-ish. So really, truthfully, all we need is 2 animations. We need forward left and back right. Okay? Okay. Let me get me a drink here. project. And by the way, I appreciate the person who sent the contribution today. You made this video possible, but be aware that this is rated R. There's liable to be swear words and even more swear words. Okay, so what I'm going to do first off is I'm going to make a new folder in here called testing, and that's just so that I can keep everything from getting all jarred up together. And so what did I do yesterday? Well, I know how to make the animations, but for whatever reason, it was not cooperating. So I have a plan, and that plan is if I do a retarget, will that retarget omit the root motion, right? Because I can't create these animations until I can get rid of that root motion. And you can't just disable the root motion because I need the root bone to have an animation key on it, right? So I have this idea, and that idea is this. If we retarget an animation, will it omit the root motion? So I'm going to go into the locomotion, into the rifle, and we need the rifle walk forward animation. That's the one right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click this animation, and I'm going to go to retarget anim assets. So I'm going to say duplicate and retarget. And I don't know how to do this, but I'm just going to guess, right? So we're going to, okay, so that's UE4 Manny to UE5. That's not correct. We have UE5 to UE4. That's not correct. We need UE5 to UE5. So is it that? Right? So I'm just going to select that one. And it will not let you push the retarget button because it's going from the same skeleton to the same skeleton. So the source skeleton is definitely that one, but can we, well, hell, let's put it on the Manny simple skeleton, right? And we will change the folder to go in the testing folder. And now it will let me mash this button. So I'm going to mash this button and pray. So go. And it says one asset were retargeted. So in the testing folder, we now have a targeted animation. So I'm going to open this, and it looks like it did it. But the question is, did it omit the root motion? So if we come down here to root motion and we check off force root lock, he stays in place. And if we uncheck that, he stays in place. So it looks to me like that when you do a retarget, it does omit root motion, which is a good thing because that's what I need it to do. Okay, that's exactly what I need it to do. So we may be in business here. Potentially, possibly, maybe. Okay. Before we do this, I guess we need to see if we can get it back. Right? Like, can we get, okay, so now that we did this retarget, can we retarget this back to the original mannequin and it still omit the root motion? So we are going to right click this one, go to retarget, and we're going to say duplicate and retarget anim asset. And so we shall try this again. Okay, so that seemed to work. And so the source skeleton, it says, is the Manny, which is not correct. The source is now the simple. and that is the target. Okay. And we will change this to go into the testing folder, and let's try this. And now that one is called rifle walk forward 1. And so let's save this and let's open this. And we come over here, and as you can see, root motion is in fact off. Yeah, see, it makes no difference. As far as I can tell, let me reopen that. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it omitted it, which is fucking excellent. Oh shit, where did he go? There he is. Okay, so we're in business here. So now what I can do, theoretically, is we can delete this one. And we shall change the name of this back to that. And we will duplicate this. And we shall call this forward underscore L for forward left. And now let's go make our modifications to it. So this needs to be that. I don't know why it doesn't want to stay with the same fucking mesh or whatever. I don't know. Who built this shit? Epic built it. So it's ass. That's exactly what it is. So now we can make our modification, right? So we go to the root, and we need to set our degrees here to 5, and we need forward left. Okay. So that means we go 45 degrees this way, and we add a key. Then we come up to the spine, and we go 45 degrees back this way, and we need to tilt him up about 10. I think that looks kind of straight. And then we will hit a key, save it, and play it. And now we should have forward left. So let's go dump that into the blend space and see what it looks like. So we go in here, and we need, I could probably just type F underscore L. Nope, that would be FWD underscore L. There it is. So then that can go right here. Okay. And let's just do a preview here. Look at that. So now let's go see. Did we just do it? Is it done? Can we ship it now? Look at that. Okay, so now we need back right. Well, hell's bells. Okay, so what do we need now? Yeah, we need back right. So I need to retarget the backward animation and do the same process to it. So back in here, we need underscore rifle underscore walk underscore B. There it is right there, walk backwards. So we right click here, retarget, duplicate and retarget. And we set this to this top one here. And we're going from the Manny to the simple Manny. And we need to change this folder to testing and retarget. Okay. And let's just double check to make sure it did take that root motion out, which it did, I'm sure. Okay, where is it? So we undo that and undo that. And the root motion is gone. So now we need to go from the simple Mani back to the original Mani. So we right click this, retarget, duplicate and retarget Anim assets. And we select that. And we go from the simple back to the normal. And we shall change this back to the testing folder and retarget. And now we can get rid of that one. And we will rename this to just walk backward. Save all the things, duplicate this. And this will be, what did I say we needed? Back right. So underscore backward R and make the mods to it. So we pause this animation, go back here. We take the root and he needs to go back right. So that would be 45 degrees this way. Add a key. And then we take the spine and we go 45 degrees back this way. And we raise it up about 10. Add a key and play it. And there is back right. So we save that and now we go throw this into the blend space. And I think we got it, guys. So that would be BWD underscore R. So that would go here. And you know what? We need to go ahead and put that down here too. And we need the forward L. And that needs to go down here at the bottom too. And save it. And now let's go see what we got. So now we have forward right, forward left. We have right, left, and we have backward, left, and we have backward, right. I don't know. It seems like it might do, right? I don't know. Looks like the gun's staying straight, which is exactly what we were trying to do. So there, we did it. That's one problem solved. So it can be done. Okay. Now what's the next problem? That's a good question. I don't know. What is the next problem? So now we can get rid of this backward and forward. We don't need them. And I want to change this over to be that. Apply. And save it. And now we can move these. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to leave them there for now. But then we'll have to go into the other folder. But for now, I'm just going to leave that there. So that will solve that problem. And you know, it still don't look perfect to me. Like for some reason, You know, and it could be because we actually do need a forward right. See how his feet are kind of weird? See that? But yet they're not weird that way. Okay, we're going to, let's see if I can hit Control Z. Nope, I can't get it back. Son of a, but that's okay. We can, let me open this back up. I know how we can fix this. Let's see, let's put that back to the mannequin, save that. And then we will take forward left and let's dupe it. And we will call this one forward right. Let's just go ahead and make them. I mean, hell, it don't take much to make them all. And see if that'll cure that weird foot problem. So let's open this. And we will remove these curves, right? So remove track here and remove track here. And we will save that. Pause this. And now let's do forward right. Okay, so we take the root and my dyslexia is kicking in. That would be this way. 45, add a key, take spine 1, we go back 45 this way, and then we straighten him up, add a key, save it, play it. All right, now let's go dump that one into the blend space just to see if that kind of cures that weird foot issue. So that would be FWD underscore aura. Oh, wow. I typed raw. Did I really do that? Wait, that's called jog forward raw. I didn't name that. That come from Epic. Okay, well, that ain't my shit. Okay, so walk forward right will go here. And we need to go ahead and put one on the bottom too. Now let's go see if that just solved that weird problem. And it did, right? So it was in fact because that animation is actually missing. I mean, it seems like it fixed it. Does it look fixed? Which then means we need to go ahead and do the other one for backward too while we're at it. Fuck it, just make them. Hell, it don't take 5 minutes. So we take walk backward right, we dupe it. And we call this one walk back left. And we open it. And we need to remove track on the root and the spine. Pause it. Back that bitch up. Oh, no, no, don't grab the whole thing. What in the actual hell? Just that. Take the root. And what did I say we were doing here? Back left. So that would be this way. 45, add a key, take the spine 1, go back this way, 45, and then straighten it up, add a key, and save it, and go dump it in the blend space. Okay, so this will be walk BWD left. Yeah, back left. That should be here and here. Okay, I think that's it. Now let's try that. Go backwards. Good enough. Close enough for horseshoes and hand grenades. Okay. That works for me, guys. What a pain in the dick. But that's okay. So now let's see here. So we can solve these problems. But what I want to do now is actually go back in this animation blueprint. And so what does that mean? That means that we're going to have to, we'll still be using this. So let me move this up here like this. So we're still going to be using that, but we're going to have to, let's copy this out of here. This is going to get a lot smaller, by the way, guys. If we, I don't know if I'm going to sit here and implement this all at this particular time, but you guys will see what I'm talking about here. So now that'll be for the rifle, and that will go here. And so that same procedure will have to be done for each of the weapon sets, right? So in other words, you're going to have to do exactly what we did here for the unarmed and the pistol, right? But watch what that does. That means that all this shit right here, you see all this? All this. Actually, that's not true because there's going to be one for sprinting too. So let me copy one of these out of here just to go ahead and get it up here so you guys will see how this will work, right? So we'll put a Control V here, and this is walk, right? So if you're not sprinting, you are walking, and then that procedure will have to be done to create the sprinting animations, right? And that goes back into the rifle. Okay, but here's what that means. That means that all this right here can now go the fuck away. All this. And also this, right? Because you'll have to do the female variants. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all this stuff up here too. Okay, and so look how much smaller that's going to be now. So you will have a blend space for walking and running for the male and the female for each weapon set. Okay, but that's still far smaller than it was a minute ago, which also then means all this shit right here gets to go away, right? And all this shit right here gets to go away. And that's what you're left with. Now, isn't that much fucking better? Epic, screw you and your Lear animation system, okay? Like literally, screw you. Oh, but it looks so beautiful. Sure. Whatever. I'm just going to clean up a little bit here, so that means we can get rid of all these orientation angle bullshit variables. We can get rid of cardinal directions bullshit. This AO yaw, that's actually not, oh shit. Nope, it is used still. So we'll leave that for now. But that cleaned up quite a bit, okay? Oh, it's because it's used right here. Well, I can actually get rid of that now. Don't need it. Okay, and now we should be able to get rid of that one. Goodbye. Thank you for playing. Okay, so before I go through the trouble of creating all the rest of this, we need to check out that next problem that we ran into, which was, what the hell was it? Oh, it was when you got a rifle in your hand and you get the weapon lined up, attached by a socket. When you switch into the running animations, the weapon's out of whack, right? So that's the other issue that we were going to have to try to look at. So before we can even do that, we got to make the running animations. Son of a bitch. Okay, so we're still not done making animations yet. So we need, what do we need? We need to go back into these animations, and we got to do that process for the, at least the male running rifle animations. So we're going to duplicate this blend space, and we're going to rename this to rifle jog. Okay. Save all the things, and then let's delete all these animations that are already on here, these blend samples, and we will populate this. So this will be rifle jog. Okay. So we need jog forward, and that will go in the dead center. And then we need jog left. We'll go here on the top and the bottom. Jog right. We'll go here on the top and the bottom. And then jog backward. We'll go in the corners. So we'll have to create the forward, jog forward, left, forward. You guys know, right? We'll have to make those. Okay. But for now, we're just going to put it in there just like that. This speed, I need to go see what the speed is I have this character set to. For running, 500 is what I set it to. So this blend space needs this maximum value set to 500. Why did it go to 525? Why does it have 7 vertical axes? That's stupid. And this needs to be 500. Oh, it ain't gonna let me. Well, that's just beautiful. Just move these up. Why did it do that shit? Hold on, let me go look at something. Why? Why did you do that? Yeah, see, it's only supposed to have 4 vertical axes. This is. Why, when I duplicated it, did it make 7? I don't get it. Well, it ain't gonna let me put 500 in. Okay. Well, that's no big deal. We'll just go change it to 525. Is it? Oh shit! I didn't mean to close that. Jesus H Christ! Clicky clicker. We'll just go bump the speed up to 525. I don't want to sit in there and get lost doing that. Because I don't want to stream 5 hours today. I think that live stream I did yesterday was 5 damn hours. Holy shit. 5 hours of epic fail. So we're going to go back into the animation blueprint. Oh, actually, we got to open the character master. And we are going to change this to 525. And then we will change this to 525. Now we're going to go into the character animation blueprint, back into the walk run, and we need the BS rifle jog. And that will go, yeah, is sprinting. So if that is true, we go here. And this will be the exact same direction and the exact same speed. Compost it and save it. And that's how that will work. So let's go see. I know the animations are going to be missing, but let's go see what that looks like. How about now? Yep. So we'll have to create those animations for that. How about that? Oh, and there's one other thing too. Back in this animation blueprint, we need to set these sync groups, right? So I'm going to select the rifle walk, and I'm going to set this to the sync group walk. And this will be sync group. And this one needs to be set to the sync group jog. And that will be set to sync group. We'll have to remember to do that for every single one of those that we put in there. That keeps the feet in sync. And the reason that it does it, just for those of you who don't know, when I talked about this data that's in these animations that I was trying to preserve, right? Like if we look at walk forward right, you see these foot plants? That's how it does it. It keeps them in sync via these foot plants so that when you switch directions, it knows which foot's up or down and it syncs them. It tries to make them blend better, I guess is how you would describe that. Okay. So let me change this here. I don't know why the male animation's open to the female mannequin. That's epic fail. I didn't do that. Somehow that happened. There we go. Okay, so I guess we need to just go ahead and make those animations for the run, for the jog. And then we'll start trying to deal with the, oh, what the hell are we going to do to get the weapon to line up problem, right? So let's go to the rifle, and we need the rifle jog forward, and we need to retarget it, right? Remember that little trick we just learned? Wow, wasn't that cool? Who would have ever thought that? Oh, by the way, just so you guys know, root motion, when you retarget an animation with root motion, apparently it don't take the root motion. Just as an FYI. How about that? For once, something that don't work correctly for Epic actually worked out for our benefit, right? So for whatever reason, that way of retargeting don't retarget root motion, which is a good thing in this scenario, because I was trying to get rid of the root motion to begin with. That only happens about once in every 10 billion years, by the way. So there's that. Hey, Epic Screw Up actually made my life easier for once. I never thought I would ever say that. That's pretty funny. Okay. What are we doing again? Oh, yeah, retargeting. Okay. Retarget, duplicate, and retarget. And that goes to that. And we're going from that to the simple. And we need to change this location do testing. Okay. And retarget. And let's go ahead and do backward while we're at it. Rifle, jog, backward. Where is it? Is that it right there? Yep. Right click, retarget, duplicate. Whatever the hell that is. From that to the simple. Change folder to here. Okay. Go. And now we got to go back. So we take that. Well, we're just doing both. Right jog forward, jog backward, right click, retarget. And do this. And we're going from the simple back to that. Change the folder to here and go. And go. Now we can delete these two. And we're in good shape, theoretically. So, let's rename these. Take the 1 off. Wait, where'd the 1 go? Oh, there it is. Okay. Duplicate. And this becomes forward left. Duplicate. This becomes forward right. And let's go fix them. This forward right. Pause it. Root. What is this, right? Forward right. You guys have no idea how hard this is when you're dyslexic. So that would be this way. 45. Add a key. Find back this way. 45. And straighten it up a bit. Add a key. And play. That's a little herky-jerky, but whatever. Let's make sure we turn this off. I'm not an animator, okay? But I can do just enough to get it done. And you know what? Just to be perfectly honest with you guys, their fucking animations are not that good, okay? They got plenty of flaws in them. And the difference between them and me is this. They script logic in there trying to correct issues. And I try to correct the animations, right? So pick your poison. Which way's better? Hell, who knows? They're both time consuming as hell. It'd be better if you had a really good fucking animator that knew what the hell he was doing. That would be more helpful, probably. Okay. Make sure we turn off this root motion shit. And what is this? This would be forward left. So we take the root and we go this way, 45. Add a key. Find back this way, 45. Straighten it up. close. He needs to lean a little bit because he's running. So we add a key. I just put it up 10 on each. Okay, so let's go ahead and go stick. Well, actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do backward. Okay, so let's dupe this one. And this becomes backward left. And then we dupe this one. And this becomes backward right. Okay. Pause this. Scrub it back. Root. And this would be, what is this? Back right. So that goes that way 45. Add a key. Find. Back this way 45. And in. Key. And save it. And then we do back left. So this way 45. Add a key. Spine. Back this way 45. And up 10. Add a key. And we go stick them in the blend space. And we can get rid of jog forward or jog backward and jog forward. We don't need those anymore. Okay. Let me go ahead and change these meshes because that annoys me. He's really getting some damn going, ain't he? Yeah, he is. Okay, now let's go put him in. So we got the jog. And we need jog. Actually, this would be rifle, jog, FWD, forward left goes here and here, and forward right goes here and here. Oh, no. Let's delete that one. I put that in the wrong place. I'll screw this up yet. That one goes here. And now we need backward, left and right. BWD. Backward left goes here and here. Backward right goes here and here. You know what? I probably should have added rotation into the head too. Look at the head. But that may not matter with the aim offset. I don't know. But I probably should have rotated the head to get the head back into the center. But that's okay for now. We can go back and add that at some point. Okay, let's see. Oh man, that one's really messed up. Maybe I'll put them in the wrong place. Hold on. I think I got them fucking backwards. Imagine that. Somebody with dyslexia getting something backwards. Who would ever thought that possible? Let's see. Animations, locomotion, rifle. Actually, let me open these animations. Did I name them wrong? So this one's called back left. Yeah, I mean that's back left, isn't it? Back right. Yeah, that's back right. So they must be backwards in the blend space, I guess. I don't know. It's always something. What the hell did I do here? Or is it because of... Wait, what the hell is going on here? Somehow this ain't right. Son of a bitch. Well, that root motion shit. Thought I turned that off, but maybe I didn't, and that's what's doing it. Let me just double check and make sure these are all turned off. Okay, how about now? There it is. Well, I don't know. I guess it does still try to do root motion. Fuck me, I don't know. Somehow we got this shit to work. There. So now we got running in all those directions. And we got walking in all those directions. Done. Ship it. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and do all this animation work on live stream because you guys know how to do that right now. So if you're following along with this and you want to mimic what I done, this is the video that you can do it in. But you will have to create, just to clarify, let's go back in here and look what we have to do. So back in the animation blueprint, in here, there's a lot of work to do in here. So you're going to have to create the male versions and the female versions, right? So we did the rifle. That means you're going to have to create a male pistol 2D blend space for walking and running. And you're going to have to create an armed male blend space or unarmed male blend space for walking and running. Then you're going to have to redo that again for the female, right? Because remember, they use different animations on the female, and that will be plugged in here. So you guys know how to do that. But that cleaned that graph up a lot, honestly. It don't look to me like there's going to be as much shit poked in here now, which is good. Okay. So now we got to put a weapon on this damn thing and see if we can sort that issue out. Which ain't going to be fun. Okay. I have no idea how we'll fix that, just to be honest. Okay, let's see here. So let me what did we do? We just put that military weapons pack in here is all we did. So we'll have to put that back in here. So let's do that. Library. Military. Dark or silver. Let's put the silver ones in. Add to this. Shit, we'll have to put that fabric node back in too. But first, let's just see if we can get some way to I don't know how the hell we're going to do that, just to be honest. There's going to have to be some way to store the rotation and the location for each of those poses. And then when you switch from one to the other, you're going to have to reset the location and rotation. That's what'll have to happen, probably. I don't know any other way to fix it. I mean, you can fix it with IK probably, but I'm not putting. I mean, the whole point of this really was to get away from that shit. The only IK I left intact was the one that they had put in here in the default third-person template, which is this, right? I don't want to have to create a whole new IK system for the hands. And you know, honestly, I think that's pretty stupid. All that damn extra trouble they went through just to make it where it would fucking do that. That don't matter to me, but apparently some people find that a big deal. But it don't matter to me. Okay, so we got to get this weapon turned around again because I don't like working in 18 different directions, and the weapons should be facing down the x-axis, and for whatever reason, these were not created that way. So we're going to right-click, Asset Actions, Export to the desktop. Save all this, uncheck all this crap. And let's go ahead and delete it because seems like we had a problem with this last time. So let's just delete all that stuff. You know what? There was something. Let's clean this folder up a little bit. Where the hell is that? Yeah, let's get rid of this stupid map. I don't want their stupid map. Okay. And back in here. Why is it still showing there's an assault rifle in here? I thought we just deleted all that. I bet that was an animation or something. Whatever. Import from the desktop this rifle back in again. Skeleton. Assault rifle A skeleton. And we don't need to create new materials. And we don't need textures. Okay, go. Well, where the fuck did the weapon go? That's the physics asset. There it is. That's the skeleton. Oh shit, we didn't rotate it when we imported it. God damn it. Delete it again. Import it again. And this time, let's try to remember to rotate it this time. Yep. And then that needs to go to -90 here. I hate working with these marketplace assets. Ain't none of them really worth a shit. Except for mine. Mine's worth a shit. There we go. Okay. Now let's make a new folder called Weapons. And we will just put it in here. New blueprint based on an actor. And this will be BP Weapon Master. Okay. We shall open this. And we're going to add a skeletal mesh component. And we will call this SK Weapon. And we will drag that up here, make it the default scene root. And this is for multiplayer, so we need to make sure we check this box that I always forget that says replicates. And then we plug in that mesh. Voila. Okay, now let's see if we can figure out how in the damn hell we're going to get this to be lined up in both positions. Okay, so we need to go into the character blueprint. And no, not the animation blueprint, the character blueprint. And we're just going to do it right here on event, begin, play, has authority, switch has authority. And we shall spawn actor from class. And this will be our weapon master. And we will always spawn ignore collisions. Owner and instigator is a reference to self. And then we take the mesh and we say get socket transform, and we will have to create a socket. Okay, so now let's go open up the walk forward or idle. Let's see here, animations, locomotion, rifle, and we need, well, hell, we could just do jog. rifle jog, or is there an idle? We don't want the aim down sights. We are using the hip fire. So let's just go ahead and open that idle animation up. Pause it. And we'll just start out with it being in the hand, right? So we'll go to the skeleton here. And we will take the hand aura. And we shall right click, add socket. Rename it to rifle hand, and then we right click, add preview asset, and that shall be this assault rifle. Turn off all these snaps, and let's get it rotated around. I don't know if we'll be able to do this or not, but I'm thinking we might be able to change the location and rotation based on whether the character is walking or jogging. That's what I'm going to try to do. So let's rotate this around. We will see if we can get. You know what? This is supposed to be the dude, not this chick. I don't know why it does that. They must have made all these animations for the female. I don't know. Okay, and we need to pivot that down. Great. And we'll put that fabric node back in at a different time. First, I want to see if I can actually get it to do what I'm trying to do here. That's leaning like hell. We want it to face kind of straight-ish. We're going to have to move that back. Yeah, we can move that left hand. I'm not worried about that. That's good enough for me. Okay, so we will save that. And we look in the details. You see how it gives you the relative location and relative rotation? I'm thinking maybe we can store those in a variable. And then, you know, set it. So let's do this to begin with. Let's go back into the character master blueprint. And we will open this up, and we need a, let's see, we need a, what, a vector. In the vector location and rotation. Let's see. And socket LOC. A-T-I-O-N. And let's change that to a vector. File it and save it. And then let's see if break vector. Oh, no. Not what. Well, I guess we do, but we also need a and socket rotation. Probably could have just created a transform. And compile that and save it. And go back here and we take this and we hit copy. We go here and we right click and hit paste. Compile that and save it. And then we need to do the same thing for the rotation. So we right click, hit copy. And we right click and hit paste. And that's the values for the hand when you're in the walking animation. So now we need to do actually, you know what? Let's open back up this character again and let's change the name. Hand socket location walking. And this will be the rotation for walking. I just want to make this painfully obvious for now. Okay. And then we will duplicate these. And this will be jogging. We will duplicate this one. This will be jogging. And go ahead and bring these in. And now let's go see if we can get those values. So we need to go back into the rifle. And we need rifle jog or would it be idle? Idle. Are you shitting me? There is no idle, so I guess it would just be jog forward then. Fine. Jog forward. Yeah, see how whacked out that is? That ain't gonna fly. We could have just created another socket and flip the sockets. I don't know. I'm just gonna try this. I ain't never tried this, so we are gonna try this. So let's change this over to the dude. Okay. And then we will take this socket. Where the hell did it go? It's in here somewhere. Yeah. And we will. Wow, that is like way the fuck out of whack. Holy shit. So I guess we're just going to have to Damn it. See, this is the same damn thing that was wrong with them fucking goddamn Modus Digital animations. And I know they do this with IK, right? They fix this shit with IK, I'm sure. But I am not fixing this shit with IK. I'm trying something different. Always more than one way to skin a cat. Okay. That looks okay-ish. So we shall save that. And then we go into the details. Right click for the relative location. And we go back in the character master blueprint. And the hand socket location. We right click and paste. And then we go to the rotation, copy. Right click and paste. Okay, now, now what do we do? Well, fuck, I don't know, right? Okay, so this would be, let's promote this to a variable, and that will be a replicated variable, and this will be called current weapon ref. Then we're going to attach actor to component, and it's going to do that, and that's not what we want. Piece of shit. Epic, you're not helpful. Quit trying to auto do shit, okay? And that will be the mesh. Okay, and then we shall say snap to target, snap to target, snap to target, and we can right click. Let's see. This would be rifle hand. I think it's what I named that socket. Okay, let's just see if it puts it in there. I see it. And of course it's out of whack, but it's okay for running. See? But that's the last one we lined it up to. So now what we need to try to do is set socket. Will it not let us? Surely it will. So you can get the sockets, but it does not look like it is going to let us set the socket. Let's see here. Set socket. Houston, we have a problem. I know there's got to be a way to do this. Let's see here. So you can get the socket transform. Get socket transform. and that is spawning it. But when you attach it, what happens if you can't split that? So socket. Let's see what we got in here. So get socket bone name. Does socket exist? Get all socket names. Get attached socket name. Get socket location. Get socket rotation. Get socket transform. But it does not look like it will let you set the socket transform. Which is strange, right? Wouldn't it? Shouldn't it? Let's uncheck context sensitive. Maybe there's another way. Socket transform. No, it don't let you set it. Well, fuck. Well, I guess that method's out. That's strange to me that it'll let you get the socket transform, but it won't let you set it. But it'll let you do it when you spawn. See, if I was to unhook this, my plan was to, after I get it spawned in, after I attach it, you can split this strut pin, see, and you can set the transform location and rotation. So that's what I was going to try to do, was attach it and then set it, right? But apparently it won't let you do that. And all that'll let you do is the socket name. So we might have to do it the other way, right? So what I was thinking now, okay, so since this ain't going to work, the other way would be to create two sockets, one for the walking and one for the running, jogging, and then flip-flop back and forth between the sockets depending on whether you're running or walking, which that really wasn't what I wanted to do. But it looks like that there ain't going to be no choice but to do that. So let's line it back up for walking first, because that's what you spawn in at default as walking. So let's set it back to that. So we got to go back to rifle, walk, idle, this one. Okay, so the upshot to this is that I already have those values, so I don't have to line that shit back up again. I just got to paste them back in here. So let's go back to the socket, right, which is this one, and we will take the location, right click, copy, right click, paste, and then we go back to the rotation, right click, copy, and right click, paste. So that's what you spawn in at default as. And once again, I'm not worried about that hand. That fabric node will give us the ability to pull that weapon over. I would rather it be like, see, I'm looking behind him because that's where you're going to be shooting from. I'm trying to make sure that the weapon is kind of lined up straight with the screen. That's really all I care about. That fabric node that we put in yesterday, when we put that back, that'll give us the ability to take his left hand and move it back over here to the gun. Okay. Okay. So now what we need to do is rename this socket. Okay. So we're going to rename this socket to rifle hand walking. And then we're going to create another one on the hand, right click, add socket. And this one will be called rifle hand jogging. Okay. And then we need to put in those values from here that we saved, right? So we're going to copy that and paste that. And then we're going to take this one, copy that, and paste that in the rotation, right? So now that's two sockets, right? So we got the rifle hand walking and rifle hand jogging. So I guess we can delete these now. So delete, 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 delete. I still can't believe it won't let you set a socket's relative location and rotation. That's still weird to me. Okay. Okay, so now what are we going to do? Well, I've already jerry-rigged in this logic down here for switching the weapon. And we're also doing the sprint here. So what would have to happen would be, I mean, we already got this set up for multiplayer. So moving this from one socket to another, that would probably have to be done with a multicast, more than likely. So let's just do some testing here. We're going to create a custom event. I've never done this, right? So I'm literally doing this for the first time right now. So yeah, we're going to create a custom event and we're going to call this one let me get in here and see if I spell. Oh yeah, that's spelled exactly right. Multicast swap weapon socket. Okay, and we are going to set this to multicast. And we will need to call this from the server, which is right here. So it needs to happen both ways, right? So let's move this down a little bit here. And I don't know, can we add a sequence here and do this? I don't know if it'll let us hook two execution pins up to that or not. Multicast, let's see. Swap weapon socket. So if we do that here and then dupe that. Yep, it will. It'll let us call it both here. So that'll fire this off. Okay. And then what we can do is, we could probably create a, well, let's just see. So what'll have to happen is when we first spawn in, we can just go ahead and put it in the hand of the character for the walking, right? Which is what we were doing up here. And actually this needs to be changed here to walking to make sure it puts it in the right one. And then right here, what'll have to happen is, so let me think here. So we're attaching the actor to component. Yeah. So let's duplicate this part right here. Bring this down here. And let's put a branch here. And we're going to be checking is sprinting. And if that is false, let's take, let's see. So the target, that'll be that current weapon ref. So let's get this. So if it's false, it goes into the walking hand. Let's duplicate this. And if it's true, meaning we are sprinting, we put the mesh back. Here's the parent, and this will be the target, and this will be jogging, the socket name. And we try it and pray. So when we spawn first in, it's in our hand. And then if we go jogging, look at that shit. And then if we stop, it goes back in our hand. How about that? That kind of works. Now we got to see if it replicates. That's the $64 billion question, right? Because that's when everything goes to shit. So we put it to 2 players, play as a listen server, go into advanced settings, and we go 720 by 512. Okay. All right. And we play in new editor windows. And this goes here. This goes here. Okay. All right. So it is in my hand, or at least I think it is. Let me get over here. Now remember, I ain't worried about that left hand. We'll fix that with that fabric node. So yes, it is. And then if I run, is it on his screen in the right way? I can't tell. It's too fucking fast. Son of a bitch. I can't tell. I think it is. I don't know. Well, let me pull up at him and stop and see what happens. Yep. Oh, that's disabling the aim offset. I turned the aim offset off when you're running, right? Because you can't shoot. I'm going to, if and when I do make this, I'm going to make it where you can't shoot when you're running, right? And if you try to shoot when you're running, it's just going to kick you back out into walk, right? That's the plan. Okay, now let's take the client and see if that actually works for him. Yeah, it looks like it does. Let me see if I can run past him. What do you see? Yep, I think it's working. I may have to tweak that a little bit, right? Because you shouldn't be able to sprint unless you're moving, right? See, I'm pressing the shift button and it's going between sprint and not sprint. Okay. Well, that seems to be working, guys. I mean, I ain't no rocket surgeon, but I think that's working. I think it's doing what we're trying to do. Okay, so now let me see if I can cure that sprint problem while I'm sitting here thinking about it. Otherwise, I'll forget it. So what we need to do is in the character master blueprint. So that worked. That right there worked. So I'm just going to move this over here like that. Maybe actually, let me move this down a little bit. Hold on here. Put these two together. And then, well, shit. It's always something, guys. Always. I got to make this a little fatter. There. Okay. Okay. So that will work, right? Now, is that a convoluted way to do it? Probably. But, you know, in the end, it works. And so I'm just going to roll with it. Multicast swap weapon socket. So let's compile that and save it. All right, now I need to deal with this sprint. So you shouldn't be able to sprint unless you are moving. Okay, so I'm going to have to add a little bit of logic here. I'm just going to jerry rig it in. So what we're going to do is take the character's movement component and we're going to say get velocity, and we're going to split struct pin. Then we're going to make vector. Where is it? I don't want the 2D, 4D, 8D. There it is, make vector. We're going to plug in the X and the Y. And then we're going to get the length of that vector. And this has to be greater than 0. And we'll put a branch here. Before you can sprint. And we're going to dupe it. And do it here too, right? So you can't unsprint either. And let's see if that'll cure that flip-flopping back and forth between those animations. So now when I hit shift, it don't do that, okay? And when you're moving and you sprint, then it'll let you sprint. So that seems a little bit less clunky to me for now, because I don't want you to be able to sit there and flip back and forth between sprint animation and not, because I'm just, there are no aim offsets for the running animation in that Lyra project. So I'm turning the aim offset off in the animation blueprint when you're sprinting, and I'm turning it back on when you're not sprinting, and it was flip-flopping between the animation sets is what was going on, is why it was doing that. So that'll work for a temporary fix. And you know, if you're building a game, this is going to get bigger anyway, right? Like you would need to have a function here for, you know, you can't sprint if you're firing a weapon, or if you are firing a weapon and you mash the sprint button, you stop firing a weapon and then you put the character into sprint. So there's a lot of logic that has to go into, I call them can functions is what I call them. And you have to create one for every action in your game usually. As an example, when you do firing of a weapon. Well, you need to check a series of things before you allow that weapon to shoot. One of those things would be, do you even have a gun? Right? You can't shoot a gun if you ain't got a gun. Another one would be something like, does the gun have any ammo? Right? So you put in these can functions and say, you got to have this, 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 and this. And if all those check out, then you can do the action. So sprinting, you would have logic in here for things like, well, you can't sprint if you're not moving. If your weapon's firing and you try to sprint, instead of, either you don't allow them to sprint at all, or you kick off logic to say, if you mash the sprint button when you're firing the gun, you go back out of sprint. You see what I'm getting at? You guys see what I'm getting at. You guys are smart around here. And this is just a little demo starter project, so that's the reason why I'm not putting that much effort into creating these can functions and all that stuff just yet. Okay. So now we got to put that fabric node back in. You know what? Let's move this up here. Shit. Damn it. Get out of the damn way. Perfect. That looks beautiful. Okay. Now what were we doing? Who am I? Oh yeah, fabric node. So that we can get that hand to stay, the left hand to stay with the weapon. Now that's going to get a little flaky too, right? Because why? Okay, so if we line the left hand up for here, and you know, it looks like that weapon is pointing a little to the, well, we'll have to put the crosshair back in too, and then I can line all that stuff up for the final time. But what I'm getting at is, if we line that left hand up to stay with the weapon in the aiming position, well, what is that going to do for the left hand when we're in the running position? Right? I don't know. We might have to have two sets of locations for that, which that would suck. But guys, I will just tell you, before I go any further here, I'll just tell you this. I'm already liking this method far better than the other one. Even though, you know, it's a little convoluted what we did to get this weapon to line up correctly. Well, that's what happens when you have fucking animators that don't pose match their goddamn animations and stuff. That's what happens. And the only way to fix that is either create the animations correct in the first place, or you build a Lyra animation system that you can do all this IK bullshit and correct all these mistakes that were made in the animation process. Yeah, that's what you do. Okay, so I chose this route. There's many different ways to solve a problem, any problem, but we did solve the two main problems that existed with the little template that I've put together here. Okay, so that's all I was trying to accomplish. Okay, and we did it, and that's what the contribution was for. So for the guy that made the contribution to my YouTube page, I thank you very much for that. And here's the solve, right? So if you follow those steps and do what I did, you can still use these Lyra animations, but you know, I still don't like these animations too much. But hey, they're in here. We already put all this much work into it. Might as well go ahead and use them. Okay. Okay. Now, let's do the fabric node. Okay. Now, once again, I don't remember this, so I'm going to go, we can delete this assault rifle now. we're going to go get the crosshair, and we're going to get the fabric node. So first, let's get the crosshair, right? And you guys remember where we stole that from. Any version of Unreal Engine except for 5. We're going to go get that little first person template default crappy crosshair, and we'll put that back in. And then we will put the fabric node back in and see if we can get that left hand to stay attached to the weapon. Okay? Okay. That sounds like a plan. Are you guys even still live over in chat? You guys ain't said nothing in hours, and I've been sitting here just rambling like a chattering idiot. Okay, here we go. How about now? How about now? We need this texture. That one. Right click, asset actions, export to the desktop, and this will be T_default crosshair. Done. And now we got to go get that fabric node. It's a shame I can't remember this shit, right? And that was in the Jetpack, one of my discontinued products, Jetpack FPS Basic. So we shall create that. Oh, Gankable. Hello, Gankable. I'm lurking, just watching while I play some Star Citizen. One thing to play games, it's another thing to try to make them. I actually have more fun making games than I ever did playing games. Honestly, which is weird, but I like solving problems, right? And that's mostly what game design is. It's solving problems. Hey, I got this problem. What's the problem? Well, I don't have a character. Okay, well, let's make a character. Well, now I have a character and I got another problem. Well, what's the problem? Well, he don't fucking strafe in all directions. Well, let's fix it. Oh, now I've got him strafing in all directions and he don't have a gun. That's a problem. Well, let's solve it. Let's give him a gun. Well, now he has a gun, but it don't shoot. Oh, well, that's a problem. Let's solve it. I don't know why, but that's just how I look at it. Everything is a problem, and you're solving problems one at a time until you end up with all the problems solved enough to where you have something that's tangible, like a game. Weird, I know. Okay, so we go into here, and we need just one of these fabric nodes. So we hit Control C to copy that. And then come back in here and okay, so that is for the rifle. Okay, and we hit Control V to paste that. Right click, refresh nodes, and we will plug this in here. Goes to the rifle. Then, yeah, all this stuff is correct. Effector target, that was the one that was different, right? So I need to go back and look and see what that was. I think it was hand right. Effector transform hand right. Okay. So hand right. I think it goes here. And I think we also up the iterations to 20. If I remember correctly. Okay, and we need to put him into the rifle Anim set. And then we come over here and we line this thing up. Oh, for fuck's sake. So move that over here. Bring it back some. Pause that. Okay, let's go see what that looks like. Well, can't see shit this way, so that's no bueno. We're gonna have to go back into 2 windows. Now, stand still while I come over here. Let's see if that's even remotely close. You know I'd be in the dark and can't fucking see. It needs to go back to the right some. But you know that weapon still doesn't look like it's lined up right, so I may go in there and dick with that just a little bit. Let me come back over here. Actually, I better wait till I get the crosshair on. But that is definitely going to have to be messed with some. But that's okay. Now, when I'm running, what does that do? Okay. I don't know if I'm going to worry too much about that because it disables the aim offset when you're running, which means that fabric node is not actually even being used, right? So when I go into sprinting, it disables all the aim offsets. So I might not have to create another one for the run position. That's what I'm getting at here. Because it's not using the aim offset. And when you're running, I think it's going to be okay. Okay. All right, let me bring Chad over here for a sec. I'm in the same boat, but I get a lot of great ideas from gaming too. Also learn from other people's mistakes, yeah. Star Citizen is a great game, but it has a lot of issues, mostly around server, desync, etc. It's a huge open world space game with no loading screens to different zones. I prefer to do the C++ part of Unreal, just use blueprints for the particulars in fine tuning. Well, that's cool. That is cool. Okay, we got to get the crosshair on here. I'm almost done with this stream, by the way, so we're getting close. So let's add a new folder called Blueprints. And inside here, we shall create a blueprint class, all classes, and we are looking for a HUD, a HUD. And this shall be called HUD TPS starter. Okay. Save all the things, and we need to move that one blueprint back out of here again. For the game mode, that will go in here. And we shall open that game mode and put in that new HUD. Oh, wow. You followed me on Twitch? That has been a long time. That's been many, many moons ago. Okay. And now we're going to create another new folder called UI. Oh, yeah, UOI. That's exactly wrong. And we shall open this. And we will create a user interface, a widget blueprint, user widget. And this shall be WBP container. And then we shall create another user widget. And this shall be called WBP crosshair. Save all the things. And we got to make another folder. Because of course we do. How can we have so many folders and this ain't even a game? Whatever. Right? And this shall be called textures. And we will import that default crosshair. Open this. Change it from world to UI. That's so that it sets the compression of this correctly. Just if your guys are wondering. Each texture type has to have or should have a specific compression depending on what it's for. As an example, if you are using a mask, which is a simple black and white image, you have to set that to be a mask. Otherwise, it tries to use the RGB, right? The color. So a lot of people don't know that, but anytime you bring a texture in, you need to make sure that you're setting the compression of said texture correctly. Okay. Okay. I'm getting ready to sneeze here. Hold on. Damn. Damn. Holy crap. About blew my head off. Frickin' pollen. Did I tell you guys I got attacked by a swarm of yellow jackets the other day? Holy shit. That was tragic. That was tragic. Okay, now what are we doing again? Oh, yeah, that's right. I see you guys over there in chat. Yeah, that has been a long time ago. That project, I guess, was probably the closest I ever came to actually completing my own game. And all that stuff got shut down because of a big, huge controversy that happened. Right? I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but it's the same reason that the Jetpack FPS Basic that I went and stole that fabric node out of. It's the same reason that project and all that stuff associated with it got canceled and discontinued, which was a bunch of bullshit, by the way. And I'm still pissed about that too, by the way. Okay, so we're going to open up the crosshair and we're going to add a image. We will call this I don't know. I don't know. I think we're probably going to have to add a damn canvas panel. I'm not worth a shit at UI. Okay. So take what I do here with a grain of salt. But we need to add a canvas panel first, I think. And then we add an image to the canvas panel. And we will call this crosshair _ img. And we will set that to be anchored in the center. This goes to 0 and 0, and that goes to 32 by 32. And then that goes to 0.5 by 0.5. And then for the brush, we put in the crosshair default. File and save. And then we go into here. And as before, we add a can this panel. And then we add a user created crosshair. And we set that to be center. 0 that and that. And that's 32 by 32. And 0.5 by 0.5. And then we go to the HUD in the event graph. On event begin play, create user. Oh shit. Of course, just mash all the buttons. One of them will work. Widget. What the hell is it? Create widget. God damn it. Where's this node? Create widget. There it is. Why are you hiding? Come out. Actually, we should do a has authority here first. And that will be the container get owning player controller. Yeah, we'll do that one. Then we will add to viewport. And theoretically, we should have a crosshair now. Voila. Now we got to readjust the camera again. Okay. Camera, boom. We should probably shrink that some. Isn't that kind of far away? Maybe we should do, I don't know, 250. And then we will take the target offset in the Z and we'll go up. Wow, that's fucking lagging as shit. 80. Let's try 80. Might be too much. Okay, now maybe I can line some of this stuff up. So there's a couple ways that I could do this, right? One of the ways would be just to add some value to the aim offset to get him to rotate some that way when he's standing still. And of course, the other way would be to literally move the weapon. So I mean, I guess the proper way to do it would be just to move the weapon. Right, but we can go in here and let's do this. All right, let's take this and we will add. Let's just try this. Let's add an amount. Say 45. It might be negative 45. I don't know. We'll see. If that move that gun around. Yep, it's negative 45. Of course it is. Because why? Because everything's fucking backwards and I'm dyslexic. Oh, that's too much, right? But you guys see what I'm saying. So you can add that way. So 45 is too much. Let's go back in here and let's add negative 15. Let's try that. How about now? There we go. That looks better. Much better. How about that shit, guys? We got something coming together now. That crosshair may be a tad high. Let's move that down a little bit. Back to the camera, boom. Let's put that down to maybe 75. Now, which one of you guys want to volunteer to make all the rest of the blend spaces and animations to fill the rest of this out? Which one of you guys want to volunteer to do that? Because I'm not sitting here doing that on live stream, but it will have to be done, right? To get it back to the way that it was. That's all right there. You know what? We can take that crosshair that looks like his pecker sticking out. We can take that off now too. Which one of these is it? I guess it's that one. Yep, that's it. We don't need that no more. Oh, let me look at his hand again. Seems like we still needed to tweak that left hand some. Yeah, let's push it a little bit back to the other way. Yeah, we need to go back in here. Back to the rifle. And let's move that a little bit. Maybe about right there. Almost closed the project again. Pretty good. I am impressed. Not really. But John Galt, it don't shoot. No, not yet. I don't know if I would put shooting in this or not. That's not the point of this. It's not like I'm trying to, it's not like I'm trying to sit here and build a game, right? This is supposed to just be a little starter template. Oh shit, I just got to thinking about something. I bet you we have to do the same exact thing with the pistol too. Create two different sockets, one for the pistol when he's walking and one for the pistol when he's running, right? So you guys see the process, but I'd about be willing to bet you that we're going to have the same damn issue with the pistol whenever I, get those implemented. But just be aware that I would correct it the same way. If it's not lined up, I would create a socket for the pistol for walking and one for jogging, and I would line them both up, and I would do exactly the same thing that I did for the rifle. You would just add it to the same place, actually. Right here where we're doing this, it would be the same thing. But more than likely, you would have to do one more check to see which animation set you're in. And we already have the way to do that, right? So that's another reason why I did the animation switching with this enumerator, right? So you can bring this in and you could say if this is equal enum, you could say if this is equal to the rifle, use these ones, and if it's equal to the pistol, use the pistol sockets. You see what I'm getting at? So the logic's already in here to do it if it needs to be done. And it may. Or you could store the names of these sockets. You could store them in a variable, and you could use a select, right? You could use a select node and do it. That's probably what I'll end up doing, is put the socket name in a enum, or not an enum, in a array, and I type the names in, right? And then depending on which animation set you're in, you pick the pistol sockets, and if you're sprinting, you pick the pistol sockets for sprinting, and if you're not sprinting, you pick the pistol sockets for not sprinting, and rifle, etc., etc. So it just has to be expanded a little bit, but it will work that way. You know what? I think I am going to put in a line trace for now, just to make sure that it's lining up with a crosshair. Okay, so why don't we do that? I don't know if I'm putting in the muzzle flashes and all that, but I think I want to go ahead and make it where we can shoot line traces out and make sure that it lines up with a crosshair and all that stuff. Okay, so let's do that real quick. That won't take too long, hopefully. Okay, so how do we do that exactly? Well, we go to the master weapon blueprint and we delete all this stuff. And we're going to create a variable in here. And it is going to be called character master ref. And this is going to be of the type master character object reference. And this variable is going to need to be replicated. So we'll do that. And then we're going to create a custom event. And this is going to be cloud client on weapon fire, and that will be set to run on owning client. And we're going to create another custom event, and this shall be called client off weapon fire. That will also be set to run on owning client, like so. And then we're going to the character master blueprint. Okay, so we got to go back in here. No, not here. In here. And up here where we're attaching this weapon. Oh, actually, we got to go back to the weapon blueprint. God, just son of a... Why is everything everywhere? Why? I forgot to do something to that character variable. This variable, it needs to be exposed on spawn and instance editable. Okay, now compile it and save it. Now we go back in here and let's unhook this and let's rehook this to be the weapon master. And now we got a new pin here, which is also going to be self. Okay, and that way we can store a reference to the character master in the weapon, and it sets it the moment that the weapon spawns, right? So that's a good way to keep track of what character master blueprint is the owner, instigator, and the reference. So now the reason I do that is because now if in the character or in the weapon blueprint, if we need a reference to the character, all we got to do is that, right? And you don't have to do that casting and shit. See? So that's why I do that. Okay. Okay. So now let's go back to the character and we're going to go to edit and we're going to go to project settings and we're going to go to input. We're going to add an action map, and this is going to be called fire weapon, and that shall be the mouse, left mouse button down. Okay, and then we're going to find us a spot that ain't contaminated from all the shit that I've been doing in here. We're going to right click and we're going to say fire weapon. And we're going to create a custom event called server start weapon fire. And that is going to be ran on the server. And we're going to create another custom event. And that is going to be called server stop weapon fire. That is also going to be ran on the server. And that shall be called here. Server start weapon fire and server stop weapon fire. And we will compile and save that. Then we're going to take the reference to our current weapon and we're going to call client on weapon fire. And we're going to call client off weapon fire. Okay. I'll and save that. And now we go into the master weapon again. And we set up our line trace system. Son of a bitch. Spear trace, right? We're going to do a spear trace, not a line trace. So How do we do this? I don't know. We're going to say sphere trace by channel. That's what we're going to be doing. And now we got to get all the shit to go to it. Okay. So, we are going to take the character master reference. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. I might have to cheat, right? Because it's been a long time since I did this shit. It's going to be, we got to get the get follow cam. And we need the forward vector. And that goes to the start. And then we need the rotation. Get world rotation. And we need the, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Forward. We need the forward vector here. This is not right. We need the get world location. That is what that is. And then we get the forward vector and we multiply. That needs to be a float, or it could be an integer too, but we'll use a float. I'm going to put in 4,000 by default. Then we take these two and add plus, because epic, plus add these two back together, and that will be the end. We're going to put a radius of 2 in here, and actor to ignore, we're going to set this to be make array, and that will be the actor to ignore. And the draw debug will be for duration. And now let's go see if we're shooting a line. Bang. There it is. All right. And let's see if the client is shooting a line. And it's going right to the crosshair, which is exactly what it should do. Okay. Now we're going to fix up some errors. Since I bitched about in yesterday's stream, if you guys watched the end of it, where I went in the Lyra project, and I was complaining about being able to shoot around corners and stuff, I'm going to show you guys how you fix that, right? So we're going to spruce this trace up a little bit, right? Because all they're doing is shooting it from the camera. And that's what allows you, since they've got the camera kicked off to the right of that character, that's what makes it where when you're standing here, the crosshair is actually over here and you can shoot around corners. Now, the way that I have this crosshair in here, it's not quite as big of a deal. But if you do want to kick your camera off to the side, there is a way to cure that. So we've got two issues here we're going to solve. Okay. One of them is this, right? So I can shoot myself. Well, actually, I'm not able to shoot myself, but what I can do is get over here. Well, it's ignoring him right now, but we need that to block visibility, right? So we got to go into the character master blueprint first, and let's make sure our collisions are set up correctly. Right, so the capsule component, let's go to the collision, wherever the hell that is. Okay, it's set to custom, and we need it to block, no, the capsule component, we want it to ignore the visibility channel. The mesh, however, we want that to block the visibility channel, right? Because that's how you hit your character. You don't want to hit the capsule. You want to actually have to hit the mesh of the character, and that's how you do it. You make it block the visibility channel. So now I can shoot myself or not. It's ignoring me, but that's because we set that array to ignore. But now when I come over here and I get behind him, look, I just shot him in the back. See that? So that's the first thing we're going to solve. So there's probably two ways that you can solve that. One of them is you could probably go into the weapon blueprint, wherever the hell that is, and you could add an amount right here to make it go further. But what I generally do, which you guys can do it that way or this way, I add a sphere collision. Okay, let's look at the viewport. So I add a sphere collision, and I call this weapon trace start location. Okay, and I make sure to turn off all the collision to that. So with that sphere collision selected, we go down here to the collision. We don't need it to generate overlaps. No, the character can't stand on it. And the collision preset here, we want that to have no collision. Okay. Then I take that weapon trace start location and I parent that to the follow cam. Okay. And then when you do that, you come over here and you reset this location back to all zeros, and you see how it puts it up here? Then I take the sphere and I shrink it, right? Because it doesn't need to be that big. Okay. Let's set it to something like maybe 5. And then I just simply pull it forward up here to about where the head of the character is, like this. See? Something like that. Now I go back into the weapon, and instead of using the follow cam, I'm going to instead use the camera trace. What the hell did I call that? Trace start location. What the fuck did I call that? There it is. Get weapon trace start location. And I'm going to replace these targets with that. And we're going to get rid of the follow cam. So instead of using the camera, I attach a invisible sphere to the camera, right? And now whenever you do a trace now whenever you do a trace, instead of it coming from behind you, it starts at that sphere location. See? And it still matches up with where the crosshair's pointing, which then means you can't shoot from behind yourself. See? And also that means that now we cannot shoot this guy in the back from behind him. See? Because the trace is not starting there. See how that works? So that's problem 1 solved. Now the other problem with that shooting around the corner bullshit, if you've got your camera kicked over to the side and your crosshairs over to the side, the way that I solve that is by doing 2 traces instead of 1. So this one comes from the camera, and what I'm going to do is duplicate that node. And we're going to put a branch here. And if this trace hits something, then we're going to do another trace. Okay? And this trace, we need to take these hit results and we're going to break them like this. And the start location, let me think here. Well, the actor to ignore is going to be the exact same actor, right? So that's that. The start location is going to be the muzzle of the gun, right? So we need to go check to make sure that this weapon that we're using in here, this assault rifle, has a socket on the end of the barrel. And it does not. So we're going to take the root bone, we're going to right click, and we're going to add a socket, and we're going to call that socket muzzle. And then we're going to move that socket to the muzzle of the gun. Like that. Okay. Now we go back in the weapon and we need to take the mesh SK weapon. We're going to get that and we're going to say get socket location. And we're going to type in what we named that socket, which is muzzle. And that is going to be the start for the second trace. And the end is going to be two different places, right? So we're going to use a select vector node. And if this trace hits something, we are going to send this trace, the end of this trace, to the impact point of this trace. And if it doesn't hit anything, we're just going to send it to the end of wherever that trace came from. Okay? So we're going to then put that in as the end. So now we should have two traces happening. One comes from the camera, and the sole purpose of the one that comes from the camera is to tell the one that comes from the gun where to go. See how we got two traces now and they both end in exactly the same place? Wow, see? See how that works? And then when you do it that way, if the muzzle of the gun is pointed at the wall, but yet the crosshair is over to the right, it's still going to hit the wall and you won't be able to shoot around them corners again. You see how that works? I know you guys see what I've done there and how that works. And that is the reason for that. It's to keep it where you can't shoot around the corners. Well, hell, I could just show you. Right, look. If I take this character and I go to the viewport and we take the camera boom and we put an offset. Let's see, where the hell is it? No, the camera boom. And we put an offset in the, let's kick it off to the left. So that'd be what? -50? Other way, dumbass. So that would be +50. Welcome to dyslexia once again. So see there now how it kicks the camera off to the side? So, damn it, why does it do that every time? Quit. Yeah. Actually, it's not kicked off to the side. Why didn't it kick it off to the side? What in the hell? Well, maybe it needs more. Follow cam. Oh, camera boom. Well, let's do 100. How about now? There, now it's kicked off to the side. So, wait a minute. What in the hell is going on here? God damn it. Really? Oh, it's because of that, right? I think I've got these in the wrong place. So that should be here, I think. 75. And then that should be 50. Maybe I had them in the wrong place. How about now? Yeah. Okay. So see, as I showed in that yesterday, now look what happens. See, you can still shoot around the corner. See? But since we're doing a trace from the muzzle of the gun, now if your gun is pointed in front of something, it's still going to hit whatever's in front of you. See how that works? Instead of, doing that janky ass amateur bullshit they did in Lyra. See how that works? And since you're going to be using the second trace is going to be what detects your hit, right? That means that trace that comes from the camera, the only thing that does is give the second trace where it needs to go, right? So that it goes to the crosshair. So anyway, you guys get what I mean. So I'm going to set that back to 0. I had them in the wrong. It needs to be in the socket offset, not the target offset. Dyslexia. Yay. There we go. So yes, that is going to line up and that's going to be good. But we can shoot when we're, see there? We can shoot when we're sprinting, and that's no bueno. That's where them can functions come in, right? So just for now, what I'm going to do is say that if you're sprinting, you can't shoot. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. And the server should be the one to check that. So that's going to go right here. We will put a branch here. And before we allow this gun to shoot, we're going to get is sprinting. And this needs a big fat not operator, not Boolean. So we have to not be sprinting in order to fire this weapon. Hello, Asman. What's happening, dude? And now when we sprint and try to shoot, we can't. And then when we stop, we can start shooting our traces again. Perfect. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I mean, we patched up this little starter project here that was giving me a fit yesterday. Pretty much redid it. Right? Went to using blend spaces and stuff instead of trying to use that janky ass way they did it in Lyra. Fuck that. That's stupid. I don't know why. I don't know who in the hell thought that was a good idea. Well, now all we need is the rest of the game. I don't know if I'll put that in this or not. Remember, this is supposed to just be a little starter template. And here I have already built in more than I intended to, but I guess I mean, I've got a lot of stuff to patch up now that I've redid this. So I've got to make blend spaces for unarmed, the male and the female, pistol for the male and the female, and rifle for the female, right? So I've got a bunch of shit to do now. And I'm not going to do that on live stream, but I will do that. And then when I get done, I plan on re-uploading this for you guys that want it. And yeah, that'll be probably about as far as I take it. Isn't that beautiful? Hey, stay spacing forward now. Now that is better. Ain't got no weapon animations or nothing in yet. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to put all that stuff in or not. I don't know why I would, right? I mean, hell, I've already got those templates on the UE4 marketplace. The TPS basic and the FPS basic. The only thing that this has that don't is fucking IK on the feet. All that work. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Somehow I broke this. Hold on. Houston, we got another problem. We need to... That do what I'm trying to do here? He's getting stuck in sprint. That's not what I want. I don't want it stuck in sprint. Yep, he is. Oh, holy shit. Infinite loop detected. Oh, that's awesome. When you see that, you know you've done something fucked up. So, no, that's not what I'm trying to do here. And I don't want to put that on any kind of an event tick, but we need to, when the character stops moving, we need to stop sprinting, right? And the only way that you could really do that would be, well, you could tie it in over here, I guess. Move forward, backward. You could put a branch here, probably, off of either one of these. And if this value is equal 0, that's true, call server stop sprint. Or if this one is equal 0, duplicate that. This might do it. Let's see if that'll do it. How about now? Well, great. Now you can't sprint at all. What am I doing wrong here? Well, for one, that's wrong. About now. Nope. Am I going to have to open one of my projects? Really? Let's see here. If that is... Is sprinting got to be true too? Well, that ain't gonna fucking work. I don't want to put that shit on an event tick, but that right there, I would think would do it, but I guess not. Hang on here. Let's put a print string in. I could have swore this is kind of how I did this. Let's see what this value is. Yeah, it's 0. And then when you mash it, it goes to 1. And then when it's 0, so if it's equal to 0, you're not moving. So that, I thought that would do it. Why is that not working? Why is this not working? Why does that not have to work? Oh, I know why. Hold on a damn minute. Let's start this operation over again here. So first, we need to check if we're sprinting. I think I see what I did here. First, if either one of these, we need to check and see if we're sprinting. And if it's true, we're going to do another branch. That's true. We need to check to see. If this is not equal to 1. Right? If it's 1, that means you're moving. So if this is, let's see, equal, not. That's not the not. Not that not, this not. It's not equal to 1. And if this one is not equal to 1, then we're not sprinting. Is that right? How about now? Work, just work. Because I'm ready to end this stream. Just work. And it's not working still. So fuck this and fuck that and fuck all of it. If that value is not equal to 1, then it's 0, right? Well, let's just try one of them. Maybe it's and not or. I don't fucking know. I can't talk in booleans. Well, that's part of it. Now, what's the rest of it, right? There's more. Something's more. My brain's stuck. So if we're moving backwards, that'll be -1. So why does it not work? If it's not equal to 0, if it is equal to 0, I mean, all I did was reverse that, but I don't fucking get it. My brain's tired. There we go. Now we got to do that way. Okay. Wow, that turned out to be a lot harder than I thought. Whatever. Stupid Unreal Engine. Oh, it's Unreal, all right. Believe that. How about now? Will you work now? I'll give you $1. Hey, look at that. It works. Ship it. What in the hell is wrong with the ground in this thing? Oh my God. Okay. That'll work for now. Wow, no more than this project's got in it. Look at all this big ass mess I've already made in here. That's hysterical. Some of this stuff I would take out, really. Like gamepad shit, I ain't never using a gamepad. I would take that shit out. That's a mouse, that's fine. Jump, I'd take this touch shit out. I don't use that stuff. Whatever. Okay. All right, I believe that is it for now, guys. I don't think I'm doing a single nother damn thing. We got line traces shooting. We got full motion. We got replication going on. We got sprint. We can shoot lines. So, what's left to do? Well, I'll tell you what's left to do. What is left to do is a lot. So most of it's in the animation stuff. So what I'm going to do off stream, by the way, I'm not doing this. You guys already seen how to do that. What I'm going to have to do is go in here and I've got to create a walk and a run blend space for pistol, unarmed, male and female versions of them, which means I've got to make those animations too. So I'll have to make forward right, forward left, back right, and back left for each of those blend spaces. So 4, 8, 16. Holy shit, I've got about 32 goddamn animations to make. But that's okay. It ain't that hard to make those now that I figured out how to do it. To get rid of that root motion, right? You can't use the root motion with that shit. Won't work. Not at all. And that's it, really. Oh, I don't need this anymore either. I'll be able to get rid of this cardinal directions bullshit. Don't need that stuff no more. That was a complete, utter, total waste of time. All that shit that I did. Should have just did it the old way and been done with it. So with that, I think I'm going to end it here. It'll probably be a couple days or whatever, but I'll make a live stream and let you guys know when I get this finished and that the new version will be uploaded to my Google Drive and you guys can have this. I appreciate the guy who made the contribution today. I hope this video helped you out. I hope you learned something other than how to cuss, right? Because I do that a lot. I don't care. Do you guys care if I cuss? I don't care. This ain't a PG stream. And then maybe in the future, when someone else makes a contribution to request some kind of a tutorial, this will be the project that we do it in. So that I don't have to start from ground zero every time. And it works for multiplayer, guys. Come on now. There's hardly anybody does multiplayer tutorials. Why? I don't know why, but they never have, honestly. And then the ones that do, most of the stuff that they try to do, I look at it and I'm like, well, that ain't how you do that. That ain't how I do that. And I have tried and true methods too, by the way. So that's one of the reasons I have those products on the UE4 marketplace. That is a demonstration of my techniques in action, right? It works flawlessly. Well, with the exception of everything in Unreal Engine 5 is broken when it comes to Steam, but that's an Unreal Engine thing. That ain't me, right? That's supposed to be fixed when they release Unreal Engine 5.1. How long is that going to be? I don't really have no idea, but I've tested the shit out of all that stuff, and every bit of it works perfectly good for Steam listen servers. You can host games, you can have people join you, and you guys can run around and shoot the hell out of each other in multiplayer. So it does work, and it ain't even a fourth as complicated as Lyra. Not even remotely. It's easier to understand. The blueprints are all commented. So, yeah, it's a good demonstration of working examples. All right, guys. Let me save this. And we are done with this stream. I wish I didn't have to discontinue this. This was a cool project. Look at this. It's first and third person. See that? And on top of that, check this out. It's got melee. All multiplayer too, by the way. So it's got melee. It's got grenade throws. Got pickups, health pickups. What else is in here? Oh, character turn in place is in here for this. This is where I first learned how to do the turn in place that I do in this project, right? It's got leans, like, see how when I move the mouse, the character leans? That's something we might put in. I did this procedurally, by the way. So it's not using animation to do these leans. I did it a different way. Oh, and this has even got footstep sounds in it. I normally don't even put that shit in. And you could switch between first and third. It's got projectile inheritance, right? Watch the crosshair and watch where the projectile hits as I'm strafing. This is projectile inheritance is what this is called. Watch. See? Regardless of the distance, it will hit where the crosshair is. See? Oh, it's even got abilities. I forgot about that. That's the other thing. Right, so when you mash the left shift button, watch this. Oh, another thing too that this has got is when you get up to the wall, instead of it poking your gun through the wall, watch what happens. See that? So I put that in. That's something that this one has. You can't poke your gun through the wall. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me on a Friday. It'll be a couple of days or whatever. I'll let you guys know when I get this project patched back up again with all the animations put back in it. and you guys can download it and have it and do with it whatever you will. So you guys take care. This is John Galt. If you enjoy the content on this YouTube page, be sure and look in the descriptions of these videos for a link to my PayPal where you can make a contribution. You can also request topics to be covered. But before you send a contribution, if you want something specific, email me first. Email's in the descriptions of these videos. Request what you would like to see covered, and I will get back to you and let you know if I'd be interested in covering it. Okay. And so with that, you guys have a good weekend. This is John Galt, and we will see you in another video in another time. Have a good one.